Yes. Thank you. This is an honor to be able to get a chance to speak to you. And without any further ado, I would start off with asking you, what do you think sets the foundation apart from the other FFP, sets FFP apart from other scholarship foundations?
Thank you, Dr. Bhatnagar. First of all, my deep gratitude to you for becoming a partner with us in this journey. I think all the donors that are here on this call today and the many others that could not be on the call today, I owe them a very deep sense of gratitude simply because sharing this journey with them has made it so much more rewarding than it would have been without these partners. So my deepest thanks. So what sets us apart, by the way, from other scholarship foundations is one, for individual donors, the entire donation goes directly to the scholar. No overhead of the foundation is charged to the individual donor's contribution. So a dollar from a donor goes directly to the scholar. Then, as you heard from Vinodini and also from some of the videos and also from Sudha, we have a significant amount of intervention that we provide to the scholar. And Vinodni referred to it as the circle of support, which is basically to make sure that anything and everything that we can do to make the scholar a better professional in the workplace, we attempt to do that. Things like teaching them soft skills, teaching them how to speak good English, providing them internships, providing them coverage in technical areas that they may not have picked up very well because of their background, uh, teaching them entrepreneurship, helping them with placement in the environment, creating an alumni network where they can work with each other, leverage each other, mentor each other, and finally the circle of giving where they come back and help others like themselves. I think I'm not sure that there is a single foundation that I know that does all this.
That is absolutely superb. And the first part, the 100% donor funds, is just amazing. I cannot imagine how much thought and work all of you have put together. With that in continuation, what role have alumni played in shaping the future of the organization?
So the alumni are playing a very vital role, actually. And let me share just a few things with you, but I probably cannot cover everything. It'll take a lot. One simple example, when alumni raise funds, you heard Vinodini in terms of how she got the funds to come from, I forget the name of the company now. So anyway,
So,
NetApp.
NetApps, right. But in a similar way, one of our scholars used to work at VMware and decided to do a fundraising campaign inside VMware. And I believe the total amount that they raised was like $150,000. This was just from the employees of VMware. It was an
wow.
amazing effort.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, indeed.
but what it did was it not only had them raise the funds, but it also they showed us a model of how it could be done. Right? It's not just a one-time effort. Then the alumni are also sitting on the board of FFE, both in the US as well as in the India Trust. So we have a Google scholar that's sitting on our board in the US, as well as two scholars who are sitting as observers on the India Trust board. So what we're trying to do is we're engaging our alumni to learn how to run the foundation. Because longer term, the plan is for the this is a foundation for the alumni to run. And this is a foundation of the scholars and for the scholars and by the scholars. That's the best way to describe it. And so I think this is something that is very, if you look in the way the alumni are mentoring others like themselves, and they're actually helping evaluate scholars, making sure they select the right scholars for the foundation. So they're involved in almost everything.
That is indeed excellent. I'm sure once again, a lot of effort must have gone into this and reach where you are. What does success look like for FFP in 10 years from now? What would you say?
So 10 years ago, I could have probably given you a better picture with all this stuff around technology that's happening, all the developments in AI. It's getting a little bit more challenging to tell you what's going to happen in 10 years. It's harder to predict what the impact of AI is going to be in the market, in the professional world. But I'll just pick up a few areas that I think that I think I can point to that without some massive dislocation, what would I expect success to look like? That FFE continues on its trajectory and also have existing retiring board members and leaders be replaced by new leaders and alumni, because that's very, very critical. In order to have this organization continue for a long, long time, leadership is very critical, and transition of leadership is, again, a very risky proposition. If you don't get the right leaders, it can make a huge impact, and if you get the right leaders, it can make a very positive impact. And I see FFE alumni in 10 years working in senior leadership roles in almost every Indian company, practically every Indian company, and therefore practically in every US company, because most US companies have operations in India now. That is whether it's a medical enterprise or whether it's a software company or a technology or other business, or starting their own ventures. And also I would consider it to be a success if every underfunded scholar that aspires to be a professional knows about FFE and can reach out to FFE. That to me would be success.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Is there any particular story other than Vinodni's absolute masterpiece that you could recall or that touched your heart? I'm sure there are many.
So Vinodni's story touched my heart. So I wish
Yes.
I could have told Vinodni's story, but I'm so glad she told it herself. But I'll share another story. And by the way, thank you so much, Vinodni. You were just awesome.
I think on behalf of all the donors, I would just say thank you. I have gotten in so late and recent that I'm simply amazed. I wish I had known about you soon.
Thank you, Dr. Bhatnagar. So is one scholar that I'd like to share about, and I think this is, I'm just picking one because there are so many of them, and each one has a story that is so fascinating. This young lady, her name is Shraddha Pawar, and she comes from Pune, went to an engineering college in Pune, and her father was a small farmer and had a few cows, and sold one of his cows to pay for her admission to the engineering college. This was before FFE had and she had connected. And then fortunately, FFE and Shraddha connected, and she went through the college in flying colors. I think she benefited immensely, as told by her, from the leadership training and other programs that FFE offered her. And she finally ended up taking a job at Adobe with an incredible package. And I think Adobe, when they interviewed her, recognized for who she is, something very extraordinary and as an individual. And one way to describe her, how spectacular she is, on LinkedIn, she has over 75,000 followers.
Wow.
Okay. And I don't have anything like that, not even 1/10 the number. And I think the reason is because what she's doing on LinkedIn is she's out there reaching out to scholars like herself and teaching them how to code, how to interview, how to land internships, where to find jobs. So she's out there being a one-man army, being a mentor, being an advisor, being a teacher to scholars that reach out to her. So I have seen some of her LinkedIn posts and the responses. It's phenomenal.
Like to read. I'm sure there is a blog at FFP. We could read other stories in our spare time.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bhatnagar. And may I, if I ask you a few questions? Obviously, you are a relatively new donor and a very significant donor at that. And as you look at FFE, not today, but when you first supported it, what inspired you to do that?
Boy, I'm been put spot. So first of all, I want to thank all the prior donors who have known about FFP. FFE, thank you to you all. I was introduced by Dr. Manish Garg to your foundation, I think. And it was very recent. And it probably took 5 minutes to realize that I have found the medium where I'm going to do, initiate a thought process which has existed for years and decades. Because leaving your country and then coming here, you're so to speak in the Grahastha ashram, building and just doing for yourself. And then once you have done and been there and the bell curve starts to invert, then you suddenly think that yes, it's time to give back. And certainly the nation that educated you deserves to be returned that education. And what better forum can you have than to educate others? That was, I'm sure the other prior donors had something similar or exactly similar in their mind. It is not anything great or anything special. It is just a way of saying thank you. And without FFE, I could not have done this.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bhatnagar. The one thing I'm just remembering is that in the process of doing that, it gives you so much happiness. The fact that you're able to give to somebody in such a meaningful way. And I'm sure you're experiencing that as well.
Indeed.
Another question that I have for you as a donor, what more would you like to see from FFE in terms of communications, involvement, or feedback?
So far, I see it as a perfect organization. And I'm not just saying that. I have thought and engaged others to see, and I have been through one or two organizations. None of them could take up this mammoth task. I mean, what is your count? 19,000 students or even more?
Yes,
That's
19,000
incredible,
19,000 current scholars, and I think
right?
we graduated over 20,000, somewhere in that range already.
Yes. So I think that you are inspiring, and each one of us donors needs to spread this, and to our colleagues, to our classmates, that I think it behooves us to help others be educated to make all of us go forward.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bhatnagar. Are there particular ways you would like to get more involved in the future, like mentoring or supporting specific fields in terms of different fields in medicine or even outside of medicine, and possibly even meeting the scholars when you have an opportunity?
Yes, all of the above. That is the short answer. But yes, I would, medicine particularly, because medicine is what it is to me. It's my life, or was. Some point it will be was. But yes, mentoring was the second most, what is the word for it? Attraction to, you're not just donating and forgetting about it. You're getting a responsibility with it that you're going to have to mentor the students. So I have the fortune of a family who is also willing to mentor with me, and they're outside of IIT and medicine. And I would like to discuss this with FFE to explore other professional areas where we could contribute also.
That's wonderful because I know in the field of medicine, we certainly need more help in terms of mentoring and so on. We have engineering better covered. In medicine, we need to certainly get more help. So
I will
greatly,
be available.
thank you. And what message would you give to others who are considering getting involved with FFE? Certainly our donors and want to get more involved with FFE for the first time.
Let's go. There's no time to waste.
That's awesome, Dr. Bhatnagar. We really love to have you as a donor and a very involved donor at that, and very, very grateful.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you, Dr.
everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.